There's a lot of options out there when it comes to motorcycle gear, so personal preference is going to play a big role in what you decide to use and where. There are things that are legally required, such as helmets. Well, that's technically it in BC. Some places eye protection is mandatory, but that is not the case in British Columbia, although riding without eye protection is just stupid. Without something protecting your eyes from things like bugs or rocks, you're running the risk of going blind. And then, something hits you in the eye, the odds of you being able to get off the road safely without being able to see are pretty slim. So riding without eye protection is just stupid. I personally either use the visor on a full face helmet, my dirt bike goggles, or safety glasses. I'm fortunate enough that a really cheap pair of high impact safety glasses that I can get in clear or tinted versions fit my face really well, and while they do get enough ventilation that they don't fog up, they protect my eyes from the wind so that my eyes don't get watery while I'm riding down the road. They cost me, I think, around $2 each. I haven't bought any for a long time because I buy a case at a time. They end up getting scratched. I throw them out and grab a new pair. But it's important to have something on your eyes, and sunglasses don't do the trick. You need something that can handle an impact. I talked to a doctor once who told me a lovely story about a guy riding a motorcycle wearing Oakleys, thinking that that meant that they were motorcycle glasses when they were just sunglasses. He got hit with a rock, and the doctor had to spend an hour picking shards of plastic out of his eyes. So give some consideration to what you're going to be putting on your eyes. So helmets, eye protection, gloves are a very important thing. If anything ever goes wrong, your hands are likely to be the first thing to touch the ground. Road rash sucks, and good gloves will have padding and armor to protect you, plus abrasion resistance. It's important to have overlap anywhere where there's a joint in your gear, any connection points like your wrist, your waist, if you're wearing a jacket and pants, and your ankle. What tends to happen is if you're sliding down the road at all, your gear moves. Pants and jacket should zip together, and that should theoretically hold them together if you're sliding down the road. But your sleeve can slide up, your pant leg can slide up, and if your skin gets exposed to pavement while you're sliding down the road, you're going to end up with a nasty chunk of skin and probably have nurses or doctors using a wire brush to scrub the gravel out of you. It's not a good time and best to be avoided, so decent gear that covers you properly is a huge benefit there. Denim offers a tiny little bit of abrasion resistance, but it is almost non-existent. Basically, if you slide more than a few inches wearing jeans, you're going to end up with your pants shredded and a bunch of skin on the pavement again. It's the same thing with the fashion leather, the really thin stuff that's light. If you squeeze it in your hand and then let go again, it'll stay wrinkly. Any thin leather that's just like a fashion accessory and not a real piece of thick leather, that's as bad as denim when it comes to abrasion resistance. Things that aren't specifically riding gear, like jeans and just leather clothes, don't have padding in them. And when riding down the road, abrasion resistance is important, but also impact is important. When you come off a bike, you hit the ground and then hopefully slide until you stop. But in the case of riding on the road, more often than not, you'll hit the ground and you'll slide and then you'll hit something else. So padding's important as well. There are options out there for people who want jeans but want proper riding gear as well. There's a few companies now that are making jeans with, or rather making riding pants that look like jeans but have padding in them and have really good abrasion resistance. You want boots that are going to cover your ankles, not just for protection if your pant leg slides up, but also because the most common injury for motorcyclists is broken ankles. If you're riding around and something happens, you get scared, you think you're going to crash, whatever it is, and you stick your foot down on the ground, there's a good chance you're going to spin your foot around the other way. So a boot that comes up over your ankle and offers some sort of protection for that is a good idea. There's nothing saving your ankle if you're wearing a pair of runners and you put your foot on the ground while you're still moving. Not that boots are going to save you from doing something like that either. If you're moving, you want to keep your feet up, but if it does happen, at least you could have some protection with some boots. There's a lot of options for motorcycle gear that offers abrasion resistance and padding, but still offers good venting and cooling. I mostly wear textiles simply because of that fact. I like being able to be comfortable while I'm riding, and wearing proper riding gear that's designed for riding in the heat will generally keep you cooler than wearing a t-shirt and shorts. A motorcycle engine runs hot. Having your bare legs or even your legs in a pair of jeans right beside a 120-degree engine is gonna make your legs really hot. Having the sun beating down on your bare arms is gonna give you sunburns and make you hot. A cool vented jacket and pants is going to offer protection from the heat of the sun and also the heat of the engine. And if things go wrong, you also have the padding and abrasion resistance if you do need it. Motorcycle gear is expensive. It's definitely not cheap, but motorcycle insurance is expensive too. I can get myself geared up from head to toe for less than the cost of 1 year of insurance for one of my bikes. That gear will last me years. I have to renew the insurance every single year. So if you think about it in terms of extra insurance, it's actually really, really cheap because it will last you years. And you don't necessarily have to buy it all in one shot. You can divide it up. Buy a helmet, then buy boots, then buy gloves, then buy a jacket. You can collect these things over time. You can try different things out and figure out what really does work for you, just buying one item at a time, a couple $100 here, a couple $100 there. You can end up with really good, really comfortable gear if you just take the time to find it. Road rash isn't badass, it's painful and gross. And I like my skin and my tattoos where they are, so I'm gonna keep gearing up. In the next couple videos I will go into more detail about the different gear that I have and why I have it. I'll have some detail on helmets and boots and pants and jackets, so stay tuned for that.